Hi, so in this video I want to talk about a dream which I had just this morning, and this is I think it is easily one of the most surreal dreams I've ever had. And when I had this dream and after it when I woke up, I just immediately wanted to talk about it. So it was just I didn't even want to wait to talk about it. So now, what makes this dream particularly interesting is is that when um, this is one of those few dreams where it actually connected in a way to real life. So so I'm going to get into it, and you'll see what I mean. So okay, before I start talking about this dream, I'm going to start from the very beginning because that's how you'll see this kind of connect. So I woke up early in the morning, and I hadn't woken up, but I woke up. I opened my eyes and I checked the time on my phone, and that's it. I checked the time. I saw that it was early morning, and then I went back to sleep. Now, after this, when I went back, okay. So let me. So I checked the time on the phone, and I also saw that it was a rainy kind of weather, and it was dark, cloudy type of rainy kind of weather, and it was early morning. So after this, I went to sleep, and in the dream, then the dream started, and in the dream, it was I was on a roof, and I woke up, and I thought that I had woken up again after that time where I had previously just woken up. So I thought, and this is what made this dream particularly feel more real, because it was as though it was kind of connecting from before. There was that idea. So I woke up on this roof, and again, there's this rainy, dark weather, except it has intensified. So I look up at the sky, and it's really dark clouds, and I see a patch of the sky that is lit up, and I think that it is the sun, but it was really dark like you would see on a night, like you would see on a cloudy night where there is the moon in the sky, and it's behind the clouds, so you can still kind of see the light coming from it, but it's not that visible. So it was that dark, but I thought, okay, it's really cloudy, so the sun is barely visible. But then I again took my phone out and checked the time, and this time when I saw it, the time, it was either 1:14, 1:15, or 1:16. I don't remember exactly what I saw, but it was one of those 3 a.m. So it was at night. So that is when I realized that okay, it's night. That is not the sun. That is the moon. And after this, things started getting surreal. So I was kind of laying down and looking up at the sky. Um, the clouds now had cleared up, and I saw that it was a supermoon. I think this idea somehow it was either spoken in the dream by some I don't know if there was a person, but somehow this idea was spoken in the dream that it was a supermoon. And I looked at the sky, and the moon was it was visible. I was just looking at the moon, and there was nothing weird about it. Then I looked away. Then I looked at it again. This time it was absolutely huge. It was just an insane size in the sky. And keep in mind, while I'm dreaming this all feels very real to me. I mean, I'm thinking that I'm actually seeing this absolutely huge moon in the sky, which is nothing like I've ever seen. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm like, like I said, because it felt real, especially because this dream had kind of continued from the time when I woke up in the morning and looked at the time. So that's what made this dream feel a bit even more real. And then I'm seeing these crazy surreal things. So that this was kind of it was um, it was scary. So when then I looked at it, then I again looked away and did something else, and then I looked at the moon again, This time the moon had kind of gone back in its size somewhat. It still wasn't as small as you would actually see it in real life, but it was still larger. But um, the way the moon looks had changed. This time it had continents in it. I could see, and these continents were similar to the continents the way they are on Earth. So I'm seeing this, and you can see the soil. It's soil, earth-colored continents. I can actually see them, and I see a bit of bluish oceans as well. And what I see is a little distance away from the surface, I can see that there are those fluffy clouds there. So it's like I'm looking at another Earth in the sky, which is the moon. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, what am I actually looking at here? So I was just kind of struck by how it looked. So I was looking at it for a while, and then again, something happened here. I don't remember, but I said, I mean, I was struck by this, and I said something. I said something like, "Oh my God, that is the moon," or there's something. I said something about the moon, like it was some kind of a, like it was almost some kind of a revelation that had just happened in front of me. So I said something like that, and then something else happened. I'm not really sure what exactly they are, because it's become kind of fuzzy. So, well, that whole thing happened, and after that, again I looked somewhere else, and now I again looked up at the moon. This time again it was different. This time all the continents and everything, I think they had all disappeared, and it was just the usual moon again. Except again it was that absolutely huge size in the sky, and now at this point it was actually kind of scaring me, because keep in mind that this all felt very real to me in this dream, and in this dream in particular it was very a real feeling with these crazy surreal things happening. So it was actually kind of scary. So I think what I did after this, and the memories here are a bit fuzzy, but because I was scared, I've somehow had a blanket with me, and I put the blanket on my face, trying to hide behind the blanket from what crazy things were happening. And then the final craziness happened. So I took the blanket down to see if it had gone away, but I took it down, and this time I saw something really scary. So I saw that the moon, it hadn't, it had, uh, no, I think it was the same size. Yeah, it was large in the, really large in the sky, and I saw a face. It was a female face, and her hair, and like if you can imagine this being the top part of the moon, the top curve. I saw her face above the moon, and her two hands holding the moon this way. So the moon is right here, and her face is this way, and her hair is kind of, it's kind of going up, like you know how static electricity can make your hair kind of like stand up, or get all large. So her hair was standing up like that, and she was holding the moon this way with her hands, and there was this very scary expression on her face, like there was this malicious expression on her face. So that was another another scary sight after that. And after this, um, I think it kind of died down. I'm not sure. I don't remember it exactly. Probably because it became a bit less crazy after that. Maybe there was some more craziness after this. I don't remember it, because um, it's just that's how it is with some dreams. They just they just disappear very quickly. Um, so well, after the dream continued in a different way, but it just changed. It was just something entirely different. It wasn't that interesting. So I mean, at least compared to the craziness that has just happened. So yeah, now that is so yeah, that's the whole main part of the dream that I wanted to talk about. And okay, there were a few more things that I about this dream that were really interesting. First of all, the way the clouds looked at the beginning, where I said I looked up at the sky and there was this patch of light behind which there was the moon. Now, before I had actually checked the time, I think it actually looked more similar to the sun. But after I checked the time, I think it changed at that time. After that point, so that was something really interesting, and it was really visually stunning. Now I cannot really. I think it's hard for me to describe this with words as to how stunning that looked. But with dreams, and often with these surreal type of dreams, what usually happens is it intensifies the visuals of everything. So certain qualities, certain striking qualities of visuals, they get amplified, and that's what makes it really striking. And that's what made this part really look amazing. I mean, I wish I could describe it. And also, I think that visual had a feeling associated with it. So when you see it, you don't just see it, but you can actually feel it. And I felt um, the sun being up there and it being really dark behind the clouds. So I couldn't just see it; I could feel it. Now, and that's the whole surreal experience of it. So there was that part, and apart from this, there was another tiny little detail of this dream. That is when I saw this pole, you know those metal, whatever, those electric poles, I guess. So I saw one of those poles, and behind, I moved to kind of make it line up with the moon, so I could create like one of those, one of those really distant images, zoomed in images that you often see of various cities where you have the entire city within the moon, and it makes it look that way. So it was that kind of thing that happened with the pole there. Anyway, that wasn't that interesting, but what was interesting was at that particular moment, the colors kind of changed with the clouds, and there was this weird blue and blues and greens that came in at that moment, and after that it changed. So anyway, that was not that much of an interesting detail, but I just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, I think that's it for this dream. I thought this was a pretty interesting one, and I'd been waiting for quite a while for one of these really interesting dreams to happen. These surreal and insane type of dreams to happen, and then this happened. So now I wasn't. I tried to explain it, but I cannot properly explain the insanity of what this dream was, and it's also because it has been a few hours since this dream happened, and I've kind of forgotten the insanity of this dream. When it happened and after it, when I woke up, I could truly feel it. Even after waking up, it was still kind of hitting me at that time. So yeah, I mean, when I say when I like talk about it, it doesn't fully capture what it truly was. So so yeah, that's an interesting dream experience story to tell. Anyway, if you have any of your own stories of any of these really crazy dream stories, yeah, definitely let me know. And so yeah, that's where I'm going to end this video. And hopefully I didn't forget to talk about something, because that often happens. I finish up a video and then I thought, oh, I forgot to talk about that. So hopefully that didn't happen with this one. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end this video. And I will see you in the next video.